The past hangs over Mystic Falls like fog. It never settles, just drifts, waiting for the right night to slip back in and change everything. And tonight feels like one of those nights. Welcome back to Bloodlines and Backdrops. I'm your host, Amber Janae, and joining me today for episode 13, Children of the Damned. Again, we have the OG Vampire Stalker, Jessica Lowery.
Which really means we've been sitting here since episode 12.
We have, because you can see that we have on the same clothes from the last episode. We don't even change clothes between episodes. No. We're just like, we'll see you next week, and that means in 10 minutes after we pee and come back.
Yeah.
And sit down. But yeah, this is a great episode. I'm very excited to talk about this one. I will say again and again that Damon and Stefan flashback hair is my favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite hairstyle they have in all of the series. So I do not get sick of watching flashback.
No, I love flashbacks.
At all.
Yeah.
All right. So we open up the episode. It's a little cringy. We're in 1864. Catherine is killing multiple townspeople. Damon's like really turned on by all of this, and he's like, "Turn me now, baby!" Yeah. So he's like all into it.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Well, then kiss me," and then he's like, "I don't want to do that." And she's like, "Well, you're not gonna be able to get enough of this, so you might as well just get used to it." It's kind of weird, but he does it. He does do it. I mean, he says, "You know what? She's right. This is what I want," and he goes for it. Anyways.
And she totally gets off on it.
Yeah, she totally gets off on it. They love it. They both love it. Cut to present day. And Damon waltzes in on a half-naked Stefan and Elena in bed and tells them to get over it because he's seen it all before and that he is there for business, which is the journal. So... We know at this point...
If you don't close the bedroom door, then, you know.
Yep, that too. Also, the hearing, hello. Like, it's not like he said he's here for business. I know what you're doing, but I don't care. We're here for business. And we know at this point, we've got the copy of the journal. So we've got the copy of the Gilbert journal at this point. So Damon wants Elena to help him find the journal. She immediately suggests not trusting the dead vampire, which is fair.
Right, yeah.
I kind of liked that she brought that up. Because she's like, listen, basically Damon is chasing ghosts.
Right, yeah.
He's getting a lot of information from people that aren't even here anymore.
Yeah.
So, Stefan explains what a grimoire is. He says it's basically just a witch cookbook.
Right.
And we're going to learn that a lot throughout the series. That there's a lot of grimoires. But this one particular one that they're looking for belonged to Emily Bennett, I believe.
Yeah.
We get some more Catherine and Damon scenes, and then we see Emily appearing. And during this time, we get to meet Pearl. And I really love Pearl a lot.
Yes, I do too.
I like Pearl a lot. She seems very normal. She seems very much like... You could tell she's annoyed by Catherine. She says something to her along the lines of... You shouldn't be hoeing around with both brothers.
Right. You're going to get us caught. I mean...
Well, you also have to remember this is the 1800s.
Yeah.
So they would literally, like, hang women for doing stuff like this. So, like, she's like, you need to be careful, first of all, because you're being a floozy woman, and that's, like, not a thing that you can do. But also, they're looking for... You know, we're going to get caught. Like, we're going to get caught. Like, you know, you're going to forget to compel one or something's going to happen, basically.
You can tell she just really wants to live a kind of normal life.
Yes.
And, you know, she's a vampire, but, you know.
And she's also has said, you know, we have been here a while. It is time for us to start moving on. And, you know, Catherine's like, well, I'm not ready yet because I got my little boy toys.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we see Anna is old.
Yes. Yeah.
Anna is old, so we weren't sure how old of a vampire she was. You see that it is Pearl's daughter.
Right.
And I do think it is her literal daughter. I'm not under the impression that it was like a vampire she adopted.
Right. No, I feel like it is her daughter, and, you know, whatever happened that made them become vampires, she turned her daughter.
That's what I feel like, too.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I feel like, too. And in the 1800s, who knows? There's a lot of diseases,
There's
all that stuff going on. Who knows? So, yes. So, Anna's old. And she tells Ben that once the tomb's open, you can eat everyone. You can eat anybody you want. I do whatever. I want to get my mom out of the tomb. So now we know Pearl's in the tomb. We know Catherine is in the tomb.
Right.
That's 2. Elena wonders if Damon is trusting them, and Stefan's basically like, girl, no. Yeah. I think that Damon is with a string. Like, I'm gonna keep you guys at bay.
Right.
And I'm gonna try to trust you with my instincts as much as possible. But I don't know that there's ever really a moment in the entire series that you get like 100% trust from Damon. I don't think that's... So that's not a thing. And then it's kind of weird because Elena defends Damon. And she's like, well, he did it for love. Yeah. And Stefan's like, you... yeah. You did not know Catherine. Right. You don't know what the situation is like. Which is also a strange thing for her to say, knowing that Catherine is also Stefan's ex. Yeah. So I'm not sure what about that situation reads, oh, that's so sweet, when you know that she was playing both brothers. So it's not really as sweet. It's not really that sweet.
I think she's trying to look at it with innocent eyes.
So I did write this down, and 27 vampires. 27 vampires. So they must mention it. So 27 new vampires. So Stefan says, I'm not opening the tomb because Mystic Falls cannot handle 27 vampires.
Let's see, how crazy is that? Just to even think about. Yeah, well, of course you wouldn't allow 27 vampires to just come out that are going to be starving.
And then it's like that. It's this point right now, knowing that there's 27 of them, and this is kind of off topic, but I would have loved to have known the story of all of that, because you only see that Pearl and Catherine... You see Catherine pull up in the carriage. You see Emily. You see Pearl and Anna later on. But you don't really meet all of these other characters and know that they're also hiding in plain sight in Mystic Falls too. So that'd be a cool thing to kind of... Julie, you got another series. Yeah. So if I'm giving you good ideas, please take them. Right. We see Alaric reading the journal. Yeah. And it flashbacks to the founders. So we've got the Salvatore, Lockwood, Forbes. Right. And at this point, he makes copies of it. He is the smartest man in the room. Yes. At this point.
I think he knows he's got to give it back at some point. He wants to be able to look back at it. So he starts making the copies.
Which is, because everyone, he does not know this at this time, but everyone is after this journal. So getting copies made of it, brilliant move on Alaric's end. So someone follows him in. He comes back from the copy room. Someone follows him in. He turns around. He shoots this cool gun. Right. Stefan catches it. Yep. And he's like, shit.
Oh, man.
He's like, oh, snap. Yeah. I don't think he had Stefan on his radar.
I don't either.
But he had to have. He knows about Damon, so he had to have had Stefan on his radar.
I don't know. I think he felt like I don't think he thought of him that way. I don't think he
Maybe
did.
He just hadn't put it together yet. Yeah. Yeah, maybe he just hadn't put it together yet. But, so Stefan, Stefan says, I'm going to need you to sit down. I need answers. Why do you have this thing? Right. Why are you shooting this gun?
Why do you know about vampires and what you need to do to kill them?
And what is happening? And then Alaric says, well, my wife was killed by one. Yeah. So now, we know.
And not just anyone, but Damon.
But we still don't know that she's dead. We still don't know. He says, my wife was killed by one, and he kind of explains that they kind of just disappear. He takes Isabel with him. Yeah. So Damon jumps out the window. He takes Isabel with him. Right. Then we realize that the journal, so Stefan's like, well, where's the journal? That's all I want, man. We'll deal with this later. And he says, it's right there. And it's not. Mm-hmm. So you realize Anna gets a hold of the journal. But thankfully, Alaric does have copies that Stefan ends up taking, but at least their copies exist, okay? Right. So that is good. So flashbacks again reveal that Pearl and Jonathan Gilbert had a little thing going on, which was cute.
It is cute, especially when Catherine goes, rosy cheeks.
Yeah, rosy cheeks. She's like, I gotta make you look alive. Yeah. So, yes, Jonathan Gilbert... I mean, honestly, Catherine is the problem here. Catherine is the problem
Absolutely, yeah.
Catherine is what Giuseppe is describing, and then Pearl is like what a vampire could be. Right. Yeah. So, Giuseppe calls Damon a deserter. Calls him a deserter. Yeah. And then casually reveals to them that vampires exist. He says that because he asks his sons if they will stand by him, that basically, you know, we're going to have to take some stuff on. And then he's like, well, I don't know about Damon because he's a deserter anyways. And then Stefan's like, oh my God, can you just like, do you want the help or not? Like,
he lets him know right away that, you know, no matter what Damon does, he's not going to think any better of him.
Yeah, it's like, that's exactly the same. You're not going to think any better of me. I'm not going to think anything better of you. But do we need to protect our home? Okay, yeah, I've got your back. So we get back to the house, and Damon is cooking. This is a cute little scene.
Yeah,
Damon's cooking for Jenna, and Jenna's like, because Jenna says to Elena, she's like, so freaking hot. Like she talks about how hot he is.
And Damon hears her. He's like,
he's got his little smirk. He's got a little smirk on him. So Damon's cooking. Elena walks in. She's very confused about all of this. But Damon asks Elena if Stefan is trustworthy, and it kind of gets intense. Mm-hmm. And Elena, to me, does not do the best job lying.
I don't think so.
I think that he knows what he doesn't know. But then he's kind of like, can I trust you? And it's like, he does think that he can.
Yeah.
That I may not be able to trust Stefan, but there's no reason for me not to trust Elena.
Right.
Which, you know, but here we are. Here we are. So, going back to Alaric and Stefan, because I actually forgot to mention this. Alaric tells Stefan that it was Damon that killed his wife. That's very important.
Right, yeah.
So, Alaric tells Stefan it was Damon that killed his wife. Damon's the one that jumped out of the window. So, I said that, but I didn't explain that Alaric was saying it to Stefan. So, and then Stefan says, well, if you're here for revenge, Damon's not the one to try to get it from. Yeah. It's not, you're not going to outsmart Damon, basically, which is very, very true. So, Damon learns that Jeremy has mentioned Anna. And he forces Jeremy to meet her. He's like, "What? Who's this Anna person?" And Jeremy's kind of like, "Why is everybody asking about the journal?
Right?
What is it? Why is it like? I just wanted extra credit. Yeah. This journal's been up in that. This journal's been upstairs the whole time. Y'all could have got it anytime. Yeah. I just wanted extra credit. Now all of a sudden, 75 people want this journal. Jeremy's very confused.
Yeah.
But Damon's like, let's go to the grill. We need to see who this Anna person is. And then when Damon confronts Anna at the hotel later, she's basically like, took you long enough. Like, I thought it was gonna, you know, I thought you would have found me by now.
Right. I've been here in plain sight.
But in the meantime, there were just like a lot of different random vampires running around. So she did do a good job staying hidden. I will say that. But he also realizes she's Pearl's daughter. So, and again, I think that she might actually be her daughter. Okay, so Stefan lets Elena know that he has a copy of the journal, but they still need to find the grimoire. And he remembers his dad making a comment about taking his secrets to his grave. Right. And his dad was like, it's a full grave it will be, or something like that. Yeah. So Stefan realizes that he's got to go to the cemetery.
Right. He's like, I know where it is. It just kind of clicks
with him. So they make their way to the cemetery and start digging. Yeah. During that time, we see another flashback where Stefan makes the mistake of trusting his dad. Right. And earlier in the episode, Stefan had said to Damon, oh, I think we could trust father. And Damon was like, hell no.
Hell no, we ain't telling him shit.
Hell no. Don't trust him. Nothing. Don't tell him nothing. No. And Stefan, Stefan's 17-year-old boy who probably looks up to his dad, doesn't really know any better. Yeah. And it's kind of like, he wants to see the best in everybody. Yeah. And his dad gets an inkling right then that something's going on, and he hands him a drink, and we realize later what's in the drink, but he could tell that Stefan was...
He was sympathizing.
He does call him that, actually, later in the episode. So then we see Catherine bite Stefan. So during that, he drinks the drink, and then it goes to him and Catherine in the bedroom. Yeah. And they're all, playing around, being giggly, and he's like, hey, bad stuff's going on, and she's like, no, we're gonna be fine, or whatever. She bites him, and then she's like, oh my God, Vervain. She hits the ground, and then his dad comes in. Yeah. And he puts that, like, cage mask thing on her.
And it looks so gruesome, right? It does. I mean, it looks gruesome.
It looks very gruesome. It's very much it looks really very well Hannibal. Yeah. Like what they put on Hannibal. Yeah. It's definitely harsh. Yeah. It's harsh. So he puts that on her. And then he makes a comment about how he didn't raise weak sons. And it's like, well, they're both in love with the same girl, so you kind of did. Yeah. And I mean, immediately.
And then he makes him go get the sheriff.
Yes. Yeah. So he makes Stefan go get the sheriff. Yeah. And that's not going to bid well with him and Damon here. That
ruins their relationship for the rest of the time.
Yes. So we go back to the cemetery, and Stefan and Elena are still digging up.
Yeah.
And then he hits it, and then she's like, "Is that it?" And it's like, "What else would it be?"
You can tell Stefan's kind of having a hard time.
He is having a hard time.
He's digging up his dad.
He is digging up his dad, and at this time, you're only seeing. I mean, you see that his dad's an asshole.
Right, yeah, but you can see that. But
you're not seeing him as awful as he could be.
Yeah.
So, right now, at this point, you do kind of think that Stefan is just a heartbroken son. Yeah. That this is just like a really hard thing for him to do. So, he gets it up. Damon shows up, and then obviously he's there alone, and Stefan was there without Damon. So you can act like your feelings are hurt because I'm here doing this, but hell, you were about to do the same thing.
You're doing the same thing.
You were about to do the exact same thing. So in that moment, Damon definitely makes it more about Elena than him and Stefan. Right. Because that is the only play that he has.
Yeah, and he thought that he made it up in his mind he could trust her, but he should have known.
Yes, he should have known. I mean, she's in love with his brother.
Right.
There's no way. I mean, she's gonna,
And this is only episode 13.
Yeah, I mean, this is like of season 1. I mean, we have 177 episodes, you guys.
Yeah, there's not enough history there yet for you
Not even. There's so much history with Damon and Stefan. My gosh. But yes, that's how that goes, and you could tell he was a little hurt by it. Yeah. So what does Damon do when he gets hurt? He gets impulsive.
He lashes out.
Yeah. And he immediately grabs Elena.
Yep.
Shoves that blood in her mouth and says, "You give me that grimoire or she's dead." Yeah. And Stefan goes, "I'm not doing it until she's standing next to me."
Right.
And he's like, "How can I trust you?" And he said, "You just did the one thing that ensures that you can." So, I think Damon got his way. Yeah. Damon threw a little hissy fit. Yeah. And he got his way. So he does end up being the one walking away with the book.
Right.
And Elena's kind of a little terrified, a little shook up, but she seems okay. She does mention later having a little headache or something, but she seems okay. Then it goes back again. And we see that Damon does try to save Catherine when the roundup begins. And Stefan stops him.
Right.
From doing it. And then Damon pretty much tells Stefan he's a POS.
Yeah.
And he turns around and runs off.
Yeah.
And then Pearl is also captured by Jonathan Gilbert with the device.
Yeah.
And he does hesitate for a minute.
Yeah, he does.
He does for a minute. And then he's just like, nope.
Nuh-uh. Nope. We got another one over here.
Got another one. So they rounded up Pearl.
And again, you've got the device and it's doing the click, click, click. So.
Yep. And Anna's watching the whole time. And thankfully, Emily obviously gets her out of there. We see Anna's not in the tomb.
Right.
Or Anna probably would also be in the tomb.
Yeah.
She gets her out of there. And then back at the house, Anna kidnaps Elena. And that is how the episode
And that's ends. The end of the episode.
That is the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Damon messed up right there. Elena did get kidnapped because of Damon right there, which we'll talk about in the next episode. But
that's right.
Yeah, that's it for Children of the Damned. All right, for our Covington connection this episode. So sometimes stuff is on set, sometimes houses are in person, sometimes it's a little bit of both. But for the Salvatore flashback house, this is interesting because the backyard of the flashback house is in Madison, Georgia. Mm-hmm. And the front of the house that you see for a lot of this episode is actually Gaithers, which I'll let Jessica tell you guys a little bit more about that property.
Yeah, so Gaithers is actually owned by Newton County, which is Covington, and it is a beautiful property that has had a lot of other things filmed there as well, and it has the actual 1800s house there that they utilize. It is haunted. It was actually used for an episode of Ghost Hunters, so there's a lot of fun little things with that house. But for the episode when you see Pearl and Anna outside, and you see when they put Catherine in the back of the carriage, all of that is going to be Gaithers.
That's amazing.
So they don't really go back to the Madison house again until they use it later for another show that we'll talk about at some point. But it kind of just falls to the wayside after that, and this is the house that they utilize. So they use it for the outside, for Gaithers, for all of those things. But then there are also other homes on the property So you have the main house, and then there's a big, beautiful lake, and it's a large property. And over to the left, they actually have several older homes that were brought in for the county to use field trips, things like that, for kids to learn from. And those houses are the ones that you see when you see Giuseppe walking with Damon and Stefan in the same episode.
And he tells them about the vampires?
And they're talking about them.
Okay.
So, same house, that's just to the left there. So, it's all the same property, just utilized in different ways. The apothecary that we see in that episode, it is also there on the property. The church is on that property, but they're all in different places there. So I'll see if we can get permission to go out and do some filming.
We're going to work on getting permission to go out there and do something fun. It's been a while since we've been out to Gapers, so that would be good. That would be good. And
a little fun fact, the house that they use for the scenes with Giuseppe and Damon and Stefan is also used for A Coat of Many Colors with Dolly Parton as her cabin, and those there was 3 Coat of Many Colors movies that are actually true stories for Dolly Parton. So they filmed those there as well. There was a movie with Tyler Perry.
It was one of the Medeas?
The Medea movie. The family reunion that was filmed on that property as well. So there's a lot of really cool stuff there.
Okay.
So, and there's some interviews where Nina is talking about how it was haunted there, and they heard some things and then saw that the production actually put out some flour just for the fun of it, and the next day when they came, it had footprints in it.
Oh, we need to try to find that on YouTube. We will put in a little clip.
Yeah, and we can pull up too. Try to look up the Ghost Hunters episode.
The hand pushed me back down.
In the attic of a 19th century plantation home.
Is that a print? Here it is, right here. It's getting closer. It's getting closer, Dave. No, it's not.
Open and shut.
So we got a lot of cool stuff that we can throw in that people, I think, will really get a kick out of seeing from the show.
I think so too. And now I'm excited because I always like to go out to old properties like that. So if the older the property Presley and I are in, we're like 2 o'clock in the morning, well, let's go. We don't care. Let's do it. So that's awesome. All right. So we're going to have to pull some strings with Newton County and get out there.
Yep.
Now, our receipts. This one we've kind of been holding on to. We've mentioned it several episodes and we just haven't brought it out yet. But I do want to bring it out. And earlier it was pointing at me.
Oh.
I know. But here is the device. Here it is. All right. What's really cool about the device is, one, a lot of the things that we have shown you on the show that are props, they aren't like heavy real items. They're made out of rubber or a mold of something or whatever. This is definitely like a pocket watch or something that was used at some point, or that was a pocket watch or something at some point that they kind of just took apart to make the device. I don't know if the device actually did work at one point.
This actually is also an item that we got from Joe Props. So our friend Joe, who is a prop maker for Vampire Diaries, so he gave us this. We have the holder for it too as well. And these are always displayed in the store in the glass cabinet for you to come here and see in person if you want to. But the case that is made out of what is it, like shells or whatever? Did you see the case down there? Did you didn't see it?
No, I don't think I saw it.
So we have the case too that it sits in.
It's like a shell. Oh, like a seashell case.
Yeah, it's
like a jewelry box. Like a she-sell jewelry
and
box.
And it's actually set down in it, so it's really neat.
Yeah, that's not something you see often anymore.
Nuh-uh.
Like Grandma always had one of those, but you don't see that. Yeah, that's why I had to think for a second. Okay, we'll have to make sure that we throw some pictures of that up too. All right, MVP of this episode for me. I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I don't know if a lot of people will agree, but I'm actually going to give it to Stefan. And I know that in the flashbacks, you see that Stefan does seem like he's a little bit of a traitor, doesn't know what's going on, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like to dig up your dad, the emotional, I don't care what you and your dad have been through, what kind of relationship you have, the emotional turmoil, I think it just really shows you in that moment what he's willing to do to protect Elena.
Right.
And so he was my MVP this episode for that reason.
All right. I'll give you that, I guess. So.
Well, who's your MVP?
That one's kind of hard. I actually liked, even though we only see her a little bit, but I'm going to go with Emily. And I like the way she immediately took Anna and was like, I'm going to fix this. Yes. I'm going to keep them safe. And I think that was cool.
I agree with you because I think that you see I'm gonna keep them safe. I'm gonna do those, and you know that she didn't really necessarily mean it in that moment.
Right.
But it was important.
Yeah.
Because she knew Anna wasn't bad.
And I liked her too.
And I think if she could have saved Pearl, she would have.
Right. The scenes where Catherine comes downstairs and Pearl is there and she says, tell Mr. Salvatore that I've got to take care of something. And she's like, which Mr. Salvatore?
Yeah.
So, I,
things like that. Yes.
I love her.
I do too. I agree. I do. I think that if Emily could have had her way, she would have only trapped Catherine down there and no one else.
Yeah.
So my quote this episode, it's one of my favorites ever. If you have something I haven't seen before, I'll throw $1 at it. I say that in my daily life.
Yeah.
That is something, if someone says something that gets on my nerves, or, if I have a girlfriend, we're all at a hotel together and they just turn around and change, I'm like, listen, I know what titties look like, okay? If you have something I haven't seen before, I'll throw $1 at it. We're all old now, nobody cares, okay? So I love that episode. Damon just got to business. He was like, also, I've seen Catherine naked, so we're good. Yeah, he's like, no, I've seen her. I've seen you naked. Trust me.
I didn't really have a quote this one. Nothing stuck out to me.
Well, that's it then. That's the quote of the episode. All right, so we've got some fan throwbacks and theories for this episode. So I've got one fan. So there was a viewer that said they really loved the flashbacks and how you finally got some history on the Salvatores. But there were a lot of people that felt like this was moving too quickly into the storyline. That we are only on episode 13 and that we haven't gotten to know everyone enough in their modern times and everything that's going on now to really bring in this whole other backstory. I don't disagree with that because I do think that there are a lot of little side stories that kind of get pushed to the wayside throughout the series that could have been.
But you have to think too, though. You have to think that so early on we learned that Catherine was this person that has brought
she's
this beyond.
Yes.
So I think it's almost in a way too pastime for us to kind of see who she was and what they are thinking Elena was when they first, met her and stuff.
And trying to figure that out.
So it can go both ways.
Well, I think, so one of the things I wrote is that fans felt like that the mythology was happening faster than the story could handle. And I could understand you feeling that way at this point. I could. But they do a good job explaining the mythology. If that's one thing this show does, they will get into that part of it. So I do get that, but I disagree with it. And then another fan pointed out, they said that they didn't think it made sense for Damon to be hurt that Elena lied to him. After all, he dragged her into the mess in the first place and has zero reason to trust anybody. But other people argue that it was very Damon to want loyalty from someone he started to see as a friend.
Yeah.
So
I kind of get that.
I agree with that. I do agree with that. And I also think that you have to remember that as much as the Salvatore brothers are trying to separate Elena from Catherine, there's going to be times where your heart or your brain is just not going to allow you to do that.
You're still looking at somebody that looks just like somebody you love.
Yes, and it is, and I'll die on this hill, it's part of the reason why Stefan falls in love with Elena, and it's part of the reason that Damon falls in love with her. So I think that he definitely was hurt. Yeah. I don't think it was out of character. I think that as we see more, and I think this is also why the flashback was important, because you do see that softer side of Damon before he was turned.
And you're learning that Stefan actually betrayed Damon first.
Yes.
That's going to be a big deal
That's going to be a big deal later in the series. It is. It very much is. And that wraps up Children of the Damned, an episode that proves the past doesn't just haunt Mystic Falls, it steamrolls it, all right? Next week in Fool Me Once, we're talking one of the most emotional turning points of the entire first season, and you definitely do not want to miss it. Again, if you enjoyed the show, please use hashtag Bloodlines and Backdrops. Tell us how you're surviving this series. Let us know what you think of the episodes so far. And until then, stay safe, stay vampy, and remember in Mystic Falls, nothing is ever as it seems.